Welcome to Shorty Supercoach and welcome to Shorty Say. Paddy Dangerfield has copped a week. I'm pretty flat, to be honest. I'm going to mount my case. I'm going to discuss what I feel should have happened and what I feel needs to change. Before you jump all over me for being a biased Cats fan, hear me out. I've got a few reasonable points which I have already brought up. I had a Shorty Say about the Brownlow medal a few months ago, which you probably have already seen. If not, go check it out. I'll put a link in the description. I'm not necessarily annoyed about him copping the 1 week. I can wear that. Off the top, if you're going to hand out a week, send a message about the head knocks. Look, I understand. I don't necessarily like the fact that the outcome can sometimes override the action. I sometimes feel that we get carried away with that. Just because he got concussed, it must have been aggressive, it must have been a poor tackle. The thing is, it's dependent on the player, it's dependent on the ground, how hard the ground is. Paddy Dangerfield could have applied that tackle to a number of players in the AFL. If you tackle everyone the same way, 300 might get concussed, 500 might, 600 might of the 800 players in the AFL. You just don't know. So I think that's worth taking into consideration, that we must be mindful to judge it on the action, not necessarily the outcome. So look, if you should get off, if you should get a week, it doesn't really faze me too much. That's not where my concern is. My major concern is with the Brownlow medal and the eligibility and this fairness tag that we have in the Brownlow medal. As you would have seen when I did this video a few months back, I don't see any reason it needs to be in there. Dangerfield's going to cop his right whack. We're sending a message, fair enough. Head knocks can't be done. We've got to be careful. Duty of care on the tackler, blah, blah, blah. He'll cop the week. He'll miss a massive game against Sydney. But what he also cops and will miss out on is a potential Brownlow medal. Will he win it? Will he not? Will Martin get him? We don't know. But the fact is, he'll be ineligible for a tackle that was not handed out with severe aggression. It wasn't unfair. It wasn't a dog act. He's not a sniper. In his near 200 game career, he's only ever copped one fine. That's his one indiscretion. Yet for this tackle that, fair enough, if you want to send a message, give him a week, that's fine. But this whole circus around the build-up to the decision and the circus that will now follow after the decision is not about the 1 week. It's about the Brownlow medal. And some people, they'll be outraged for it. Some people just think, oh, it's tradition, part of it. Well, we keep breaking traditions as we go. We're getting rid of the bounce. We're changing the grand final time. Do we really care that much about tradition? It's time the fairness part absolutely goes. We just want to see the best player win the highest individual honour in our game. Yes, it's been great to have tradition over a few years. It's been going for some time, but I can only presume the fairness element was put in for guys who were perceived to be dogs of the game, thugs, hits behind the play, but also very good players. We've got plenty of umpires on the one ground now, 1 million cameras, nothing gets missed, and the game has been cleaned up extremely well. There's no snipers anymore. It doesn't happen like that. We just want to see the best player get the most votes and then get the award. When was the last time we had, oh gee, Selwood was great today, Dangerfield was great, but oh look, I think Joel played a little bit fairer today, I'm going to give him the 3 votes. Never happens. You give it to the best player. Everyone is very fair these days. There's exceptions, there's moments that some would rather forget, but as a general rule, the off-the-ball stuff is basically out of our game. And if you want a happy medium, then we can say, look, maybe we should introduce a slight asterisk on that, just so you don't have that one exception, because if you take the fairness rule out, people will arc up and say, well, what if a bloke who's the best player, he's played 20 games, he's been fantastic, then in round 21, he belts a bloke, gets 6 weeks, he only misses a couple of games, and then a few to start next season, but he still wins a Brownlow. Look, you can have a little asterisk on that and have, if it's an intentional striking suspension, then you can say you are ineligible. But for little things like a tackle in this instance, or even a trip, which I don't think is absolutely terrible, you know, those minor things where sometimes there's a scapegoat to implore a certain rule, I think we've really got to be better in that regard, because the fact is Dangerfield's a fair player. He's not a dog. He's no sniper. We just simply need to be more aware of what we're really trying to get out of this, and that's to award the very best player with the very best award. I feel for Dangerfield because he may win the Brownlow and he won't be able to accept it. It's something we try and dance around, like with Nat Fyfe the other year. We try and dance around it and we hope it never happens. The fact is, I think we just need to make it so much more simple, get rid of the fairness element, and then this whole thing would be so much more simple. We just go, look, does Paddy get a week? Yeah, he does. We're going to send a message about head knocks. All right, fair enough. It's just been graded as a tackle suspension. He's still eligible for the Brownlow. He won't be able to get the 3 votes next Friday, which I think is also a bit of a disadvantage when you take it into account. But he's still eligible, and I think that's fair, because I think we don't want thugs winning the Brownlow. Understandable, even though I think the game has changed, the times have changed, those players don't exist. I think it's time to get with the times. I am normally one for tradition. I'd like to see the bounce stay. I'd like to see the grand final stay at its normal time slot. Sometimes you got to change. We seem to push change all the time. Change with the times all the time. But in this case, a lot of people, at least talking to today, seem to just say, nah, Brownlow's the best and fairest. I think we've got to move with the times and get up to date. Dangerfield should be allowed to win this Brownlow medal. He may fall 2 votes short of Dustin Martin, but there is no need for the fair element to be in there. And if you want a little asterisk and something just in case the worst case scenario does happen, where a guy belts someone and still wins it, then just have the exception to a intentional strike that gets 3 weeks or above, something like that. But we've just got to stop dancing around this topic that is seemingly outdated in what was written a long time ago, and I think we just have to change that. So let me know your thoughts, because it's super topical, it's very interesting. Let me know your thoughts on the matter. I'd be very interested to hear what you guys think. I'll be back for my press conference, which will be posted later tonight. So hit me up on your thoughts, and I'll chat to you soon.